This is Path of the Brush. Let's paint. Whoa. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Path of the Brush. I'm your host, Rick. We are here at the Thunderford Studios live in Lansing, Michigan, and we have a special guest today. We have REM Alternis. You may have heard of REM. I believe they have their own show here on the same network. Hey, REM, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I'm trying rapidly to pull up the stream because I was not it's like I've never done this.
So, welcome to the show. As you know, this is a miniature painting show that is also a interview show where we talk about all sorts of wonderful things about the industry and our guests' involvement in that industry, being tabletop gaming. So, we're gonna inundate you with all sorts of questions, but let's let the viewers know what we're going to be painting today.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of boxes that I'm opening for the first time ever. So I've got the BattleTech paint starter. Includes
Nice.
speed paints. So I'm going to learn what that means. This is actually my first mini painting for BattleTech ever. So I'm
Okay.
pretty excited. So I'm going to open that up. And then I'm going to choose a mini from a pretty special box. This is the first time that we've done anything from like content from the Essentials box. But
Right.
this is the new BattleTech Essentials box that's available at select Target stores in the US.
Nice.
So I'm going to choose a mini from here.
Okay. And
What are you painting?
I'm gonna be painting some inner sphere battle lancers. We got them right here, and they should be a lot of fun. I think uh, I'm gonna try to paint all four. So
Ooh, can is that possible in 2 hours?
yeah, I pretty much painted. So last episode I painted BattleTech as a uh, like get me ready for this,
Ooh.
and I was able to get them all done except for the basing in the
Oh
last
wow.
episode. So, but that was 5 miniatures. So we should be able to get four done. But these ones
That's
are a little different.
I will be proud of myself if I get one done. I do not I anticipate that I am a fast painter.
Well, that's what the speed paints are for.
That okay, does that make me a faster painter?
It actually may because it is a it is a it's cheating in a bottle. That's just the best
Cheating in
answer
a
for
bottle.
it.
Awesome. Well,
Hey, what's up, Shrink Prime?
I'd love help. What should I paint? There's this big boyo. I should know what these are called, but I don't. He's got two
Okay,
guns.
he
That's
does have
pretty.
two guns.
Yeah.
I think I have one of those in my box as well. I think that's the I'm gonna look at the Alpha Strike cards that come in the boxes here.
Ooh, yeah, that's smart. I should do that. And then I've got this guy who's got like one like machine gunny, or no, he looks kind of like Wolverine a little bit with his.
Does he have a claw in the other hand?
It looks like it a little bit.
Yeah. I think that first one you pulled up is it this one as well? Is it the
Let's
same one as
see.
this?
It is. Oh, it looks very similar to that for
Yeah.
sure. It's the
Is,
someone's gonna be really mad at me. Justin Zhang Allard, House Davian Solaris Gladiator,
ooh.
and the other one. Oh wait, this is more than one. Oh, that's. I'm like learning so much just by opening this. Let's see. Oh, okay. I think that the gray Nutton. It's a rifleman.
Yep, that's what this one is too, is a rifleman. Yep.
Awesome. Okay,
Yep.
and then I think the other one is a centurion.
Okay.
So what do you guys
Uh,
think, centurion or rifleman? Whoop, whoop,
I would
whoop.
think Centurion because that one is pretty slick. I'm gonna do the Warhammer,
Ooh.
which is this guy here. That's what I'm gonna start with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So centurion it is. Oh,
Nice.
rifleman. Sorry, someone in chat oops,
Yep.
said rifleman, so you've
Yep.
been outvoted.
So that is Rick Hall from Dead Zone Podcast, I'm guessing.
Hi, Rick.
That
All right,
the
let's do
podcast
this.
is produced here at the studio. Here.
Neat.
Yeah.
And I do have a very special Rick Rolls America Master Series Zero paintbrush.
What?
Yeah,
That guy.
that guy. And then I'm
All
going to open
right.
my
Let
paint
me.
set and see. Like, I'm just excited to open all my toys here. I can't
I'm just
use
gonna be
scissors,
getting him out of
apparently.
that. Oh no.
Oh, there we
All
go.
right. Do this one. So, Rem, you recently took on a position at Catalyst.
Yeah.
What position is that?
Community
It,
and marketing director.
okay, and so that's a pretty hefty title, especially for that company.
Yeah.
Which means you're probably wearing multiple hats beyond just those two. I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's definitely a balancing act because I'm a type A person, so there's like a lot
Hmm.
that I want to do that isn't in my job description, or shouldn't be. And
Right.
it's hard to pull myself back sometimes.
Oh, I feel that. Do they?
But it's been a lot of
They don't
fun.
tell you to slow down, right? I'm
Uh,
guessing they don't tell you to slow down though, because everything you probably bring to light, they need help with. Because I mean, they're a great company. I love Catalyst. I love everybody that over there, Randall and Lauren and Talon and everybody. Uh, and I'm like, I want to talk to you guys more, but you're all so busy
yeah, yeah,
with all
right.
the things you got going on. And for the longest time, they didn't have a marketing professional,
No,
so there was a lot of like gapping.
yeah, they haven't. And so funny enough, I've been working with them like on some contract jobs for like managing their
Hmm.
Kickstarters and stuff for a couple of years, and
Okay.
a couple of smaller projects. And so like my history is in operations and procedures and stuff like
Hmm.
that.
Okay.
But I was
Yeah.
like, man, I could do marketing better than all the middle-aged white guys in the room. so um, so now we exist on social media.
Right.
We had a
Which is crazy,
page.
right?
Yeah, we had a page, but
Okay.
nothing's ever really been done with it. Do I have to like
When you say,
prime this or something, or no?
um, you should,
It's a paint.
but
It's a painting word, right?
it is a painting word. So if you have any non-speed paints, is that kit that you've opened up all speed?
Let's see. Speed. Oh, nope, I've got some that are not. I've got one that says metallic,
Okay.
a couple that don't say
Okay.
speed.
If you have
Um,
a just a matte white or a matte black, whichever
ooh,
one you want to
there's a
use,
white
you could probably,
primer.
yep, use that and do the
Okay.
whole miniature.
Oh
All
boy.
right. But
Okay.
you don't have to do it like you don't have to paint it heavily. You just have to um put a light coat over the entire miniature.
Okay.
So
I'm
if you
sure there's
have
better
a
brushes for
brush
this
that
too.
might be bigger than mine. Yeah,
Nope.
there should if you had a bigger brush, um yeah, because I think that kit only comes with like one or two brushes too.
It only comes with
Right.
one. So,
Okay. So it's probably got a similar sized brush um as the Rick Rolls America one.
yep, it does. So this is one
Yeah.
of the reasons I probably won't be able to get more than one done.
So yeah, so you're helping them out with all their socials and community and ev- I'm guessing events too. That
Yeah,
it
live streaming
spreads into that
content.
area.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it depends on the events. Like I didn't really plan a lot of Gen Con, other than the
Okay.
streaming, but I did
Yep.
like I do a lot of the shows for like ACD Games Day, like the distributor shows and stuff. So
Hmm.
more industry so that I
Okay.
can network with the industry and stuff.
Hmm. Yeah.
So Gamma, ACD, Alliance Open House, things like that.
Okay. So all the trade shows.
All the trade shows. And then we
Nice.
have a demo team, so they do like all the event planning for like, hey, there's a little con that we need um, people to run some BattleTech or some Shadowrun or whatever.
Yeah.
They kind of set that up for us,
Okay.
which is nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what were you doing, or what as far as the industry is concerned, what brought you down into the industry from what you were doing before? I'm
Yeah.
sure there was
So,
something before.
yeah. So I worked. I started with specialty retail. I worked for college bookstores, and then
Okay.
I worked for Starbucks. And then I decided I hated managing for those companies. I was like a store manager level.
Yeah.
So I applied for a tech startup, and I just was going to be like a call center representative. And
Hmm.
they were like, well, tell us about all this management experience on your resume. And I was like, no, thanks. Um, and they asked
That's
why, and I
awesome.
told them, yeah, I was like, there's only so much of my soul I'm willing to give, and I've spent that. And they were like, well, it's different in the tech world, and we're a startup especially, so it's different. Like you get a lot of freedom and control and say and stuff like that. So they were like, would you want to try it? And I was like, can I reserve the right to step down if I hate it? And they said, yeah. And honestly, I loved it.
Nice.
We did built a resource directory for social determinants of health. So, like, if you go to the ER from starvation and I'm your
Right.
doctor, I can help you today, but what's going to stop you from showing up 3 days from now? But if I can get
Sure.
you like your local food pantry, soup kitchen, homeless shelter, job search assistance, if I can refer
Yeah.
you to the places that are close that you qualify for already,
Hmm.
then I'm healing the social reasons that are impacting your health. Um,
Okay.
and I loved that company. I was doing good work. I loved my team. I managed the call center area that was all like just verifying details of these organizations, and
Okay.
I had like 3 to 4 managers, and then like 60 people under me, and
Hmm.
um, and I loved it. Like, and honestly, so how I left was our biggest competitor bought us, and I got laid off. Um,
Okay.
and my team actually got on a call with me and asked if I would be okay. They had written a letter and made a petition to get the company to let me stay. And I was like,
Yeah.
honestly, that means the world to me. That tells me that I did my job right by you guys. But it's just going to
Hmm.
get you guys like they're not going to change their minds. It's just going to
Right.
impact the way they look at you. Um, so
Right.
don't do it. Um,
Okay.
So I left,
That's
and
wild.
there was a mourning period where like I was pretty devastated. I love that job. It hurt. Um but in the meantime, I had had my company, REM Alternus Productions, since 2018 already. But I had just been working
Okay.
part-time on it kind of as I could. And
Okay.
after getting laid off, I was like, I don't have it in me to care about anyone else's crap right now. um So
Sure.
so I went full-time REM, and so we
Okay.
started running Kickstarters. We ran our first Kickstarter for Catalyst, which was Shadowrun Edge Zone, which is fulfilling now. Um,
Nice.
and we started cleaning up like some of their old projects, like Sprawl Ops that had some issues, and
Hmm.
Centurion, which had some issues, and so like we started being more reliable. And so 2 weeks before we launched the BattleTech Kickstarter, um, Lauren finally
The
talked
first
to me
one,
and was like, no, this
or
this was just the
the
most
most recent one?
recent. Like, yeah,
Oh, okay.
Mercenaries.
Yeah.
Um, so I got on a call with Lauren, and who's the CEO of
Mhm.
Catalyst, and we were negotiating for me to manage the Mercenaries Kickstarter with my company. And I had been kind
Right.
of bringing up for a while, and he had too, like me doing marketing for them because they do
Right.
none. And
Right.
and he So with that conversation, I had given him the pitch, and he's like, "Well, look at these hourly rates. I can't afford you." I'm like, "Lauren, you're paying consulting rates." Um, and so he's like, "Well, what would it look like to bring you on?" And so we kind of negotiated for
Hmm.
me doing communication for the Mercenaries Kickstarter and giving it like a 6-month trial for both of our
Right.
sakes to see if this was something that would work long term. So I'm at month 4 right now. Um,
Okay.
and as I said at Origins, we were in the demo team meeting, and
Yeah.
Lauren is chaotic neutral at best. Um,
At best.
at best. And so there were several times he talked and I was like, I will be renegotiating my salary."
Nice.
But yeah, so that's kind of how it came up. And there's certain things that I want to accomplish with Catalyst. Like I want to get
Hmm.
like their socials, we are actually posting regularly now, and that's been great. But I
Yeah.
want to do a lot with their mailing list. I want to do like standard newsletters and email sequencing and stuff like that. Um,
Hmm.
I am not an expert marketer, but I at least know enough to get them started in that stuff. And then if I need to move roles or something like that, I can. But I
Right.
also I also I negotiated for community in my title because um like what are our online communities, and when I when I talk to people after I got the job,
Yeah.
um a lot of people told me, and this is from the industry, a lot of people were like, good luck with that community, because they are opinionated. Um, Not all of them are great people. So like it's kind of the community is kind of known for being a little toxic. And so like
Okay.
how do we make this community more accessible for new players, right? Like how do we bring
Hmm.
like keep the existing players of course, but like make space for new
Right.
players. And obviously with the success of the Mercenaries campaign, there's a lot of new players.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you're right. There's, uh, with a game that's been around for as long as BattleTech has, there's going to be a lot of old world opinions, which is again, you know, it's like every generation. I feel that there's going to be that those individuals just like, well, that's not how we did it, and that we don't accept that, and blah blah blah. Like you said, the
Yeah.
toxicity that exists. Uh, but I feel like it does prevent a little for people to get in. But from what I've been seeing with what you're doing, those barriers are being dropped pretty fast. So
Whether or not faster than I would have preferred, but but thank
sure.
you. It's been a chaotic few months, but
Yeah.
I don't regret any of the actions or decisions we've made as a team,
Hmm.
and um, we're not trying to kick anyone out of BattleTech. We're just making it a respectful place. Honestly, every more people playing BattleTech is good for everyone. That means that
I
we're able
agree.
to produce more. We're able to produce faster.
Hmm.
Um, like it keeps your game alive.
Yes, it
Um,
does.
so
Yeah, I feel like everybody has a place at the table,
yeah,
you know, until I destroy them with my mechs.
yeah. I'm still learning how to do the destroying. I've played one game of BattleTech, so well, no, two now. And the
Hmm.
most recent one is the one I remember. I played it at Origins, and someone death from above themselves and missed me and killed themselves. Um,
What?
yeah. So that,
Okay.
like, I mean, I win,
Yeah.
but I didn't shoot him.
Yeah, that's strange. That they mech themselves out.
Yeah, they were up on a cliff above me, and I charged in because we were kind of doing the dance from a distance.
Hmm.
Um, and I got very bored with that, so I tend to get
Nice.
aggressive.
That's awesome. So you
If he'd landed
also
on me, I could have died.
so you also are a big Shadowrun fan, I believe, right?
I am a huge Shadowrun fan. That's the reason I was the Catalyst groupie until they were like, "Hey, are we paying you yet?"
Nice.
I love Shadowrun.
And do you like playing it or do you like GMing it?
I am terrified to GM it because it's so crunchy. I do not love
Hmm.
Shadowrun for the rules. I love Shadowrun for the world and the lore. Um,
Okay.
and so I was lucky enough, actually. How I got into Shadowrun was, my home group was playing D&D, and they invited this new guy in. His name is Scott Schletz, and he's one of the writers for
Okay.
Shadowrun. So when our
Oh,
D&D
nice.
campaign ended, yeah, he was like, "I'd like to run this cyberpunk fantasy game for you that I write for." And I'm like, "That sounds stupid." Um,
That
and
sounds like a traditional answer to a lot of things.
yeah,
When you're just like, that's not the game. That's not what I play.
I'm more of a fantasy person than sci-fi normally. That's changed over the
Right.
last couple of years. I very much like mixing my sci-fi and fantasy now. Um,
Okay.
but at the time, I was not into it. But I was going through. I was in a play because I my background is in acting, and I was kind of going through. My show ended, and I was kind of going through character withdrawal. So I was like, "Ah, I guess I'll give a crap. Um, and like, I didn't even make the character.
Hmm.
It was a spellcaster, ice magic, and I became so into the story and the world and the characters that I wanted to make
Okay.
it into, well, I wanted to make it into a book, and I verbally
Hmm.
vomited on in Microsoft Word for like 10,000 words before I was like, this is hard and I'm not good at it. What if I made it into a series, like a live action series? And so I wrote a script,
Okay.
and Scott introduced me to the line developer Jason Hardy,
Hmm.
and Jason was into it. So we did like a bunch of edits together, and I brought in some of the other freelancers that I had been making friends with to edit. Um, and then the next year we took it to Lauren. Lauren was on board.
Nice.
Um, so that's why we made REM Alternus Productions, was to run a Kickstarter to produce a trailer for the series to show a proof of concept of what we could create.
Hmm.
So it's just unbranded cyberpunk fantasy at this point. Um, but COVID happened, and so we
Right.
just finished the project, and then any conversation about potentially licensing with
Hmm.
Tops or anything kind of got shut down. So
Okay.
we're trying to revive that now with everything else I'm doing. It's just been slow.
Oh, that's understandable. And getting licensing agreement stuff is also can be a slow process, especially with tops. So, but for those that don't know, Tops is the license holder for BattleTech and Shadowrun, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So,
not the video games, just the RPG
right.
and film rights for some reason.
Weird.
Well, actually, no, Tops has it all,
Right.
but then they farm it out to different people. So like
Right.
Hairbrain Schemes did the video games.
That's wild.
I have a question for you, Rick.
Sure.
I have primed
Yeah.
my mini.
Yeah.
So am I able to use the white to mix with red to make pink, or because of that primer is that a no-no?
No, no, you should be able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm making a pink mini today
Nice.
because the next step is base coating, right?
It is. So you're going to go through and you're going to put all your fun uh colors that you want on the base of every little part of that mech. Uh without any detail work. It's just it's like that slap on the color you want as the base, and then you go back and you'll make it look better afterwards.
Okay. Maybe I'll add a little drop of purple in here.
Ooh,
Make it a little fuchsia.
what are you thinking about theming it as when you're saying pink, purple, fuchsia? Is it like a Hello Kitty?
Nope, it's just my colors that I like
I like it.
for the fun of it.
The reason I say Hello Kitty is I saw a army for another war game that someone had done that was all uh, Hello Kitty, and I was just like, that is brilliant. and when they put it on the table, and everybody's like, "What is this?" And then they dominated.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Pink should kick everyone's butt.
So with Shadowrun, uh, what is your favorite character class to play?
Mages. I think
Mages.
mages
Okay.
are super fun.
Okay.
Um, they are also like one of the hardest ones to play for rule set. Which oops. But honestly, I love being able like if I could be choose in real life what I would be, it would be absolutely a mage.
Nice.
I'm a big fan of being able to manipulate the world around.
With a Arcana.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
So I and in Shadowrun I've played my favorite character is Curie. She's an ice mage.
Mm-hmm.
But when she gets upset it turns to lightning.
Whoa.
But I love casting like ice spear, ice sheet,
Okay.
all the all the stuffs.
And is it Mr. Johnson? Is that
Yep.
is have has he sent a lot of baddies after you guys?
Oh, yeah, or us into a lot of baddies.
Ah,
Because Mr. Johnson is the one that gives you your job, but he'll also double cross you the second he can.
right.
Um, so it's how you survive is dealing with Mr. Johnson. So you have, you can live. Um, but yeah, he's also shit. Oops, a poop.
Oops.
He's a poop.
He is. He is a nerf herder, if ever there was one.
Yeah, I should just use Shadowrun swears. Drek. He's a
He's
Drek.
a Drek. Yeah, that's a good one. That is awesome. So you guys are going to be at a convention next week, I believe, right? Doing
Yeah,
convention
Gen
stuff.
Con.
Yeah. For everybody watching, who in the comments, let us know if you're going to be at Gen Con. We'd like to,
Yeah.
know who's going to be there. The psychological advantage to running a Hello Kitty army cannot be denied, says Shinky Prime. Yes, that
Amazing.
is true. Um, so what are some of the big highlights you have going on at Gen Con for Catalyst?
For Catalyst, I'm running live streaming at the booth. So right on the
Nice.
floor, we'll be doing live streaming. We'll be playing games each day. We'll be playing new games from the Shadowrun board game division. A new game is actually launching on Kickstarter on Thursday at Gen Con, which is Shadowrun
What?
Takedown. Um, so
All
I'm pretty
right.
excited about that. So we're going to be playing a few rounds of that each day. Well, one round each day. We're going to be playing some Shadowrun Anarchy, which is like the rules light version of Shadowrun, um,
Okay.
so that we can draw some new people in, new audiences in. And we'll be playing BattleTech. I think we're going to be playing some Alpha Strike and some of the Game of Armor Combat version. We're going
Nice.
to be doing interviews with the devs, the artists, the writers. Uh, and then one I'm really excited about is so my company produces the audiobooks for Shadowrun. And
Okay.
so we have just released a brand new one that is narrated by Jason Charles Miller,
Ah,
who's
very
kind of a
nice.
celebrity in the industry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is going to be at the booth. He's going to do a live reading on stream and then a book signing at the booth after. So that's on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, the Jason Charles Miller is a professional GM. He's a rock star, a legitimate rock star,
Yep.
and he was the voice of Dritz on Baldur's Gate.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
yeah, he's done all
He's
sorts of
done a
stuff,
lot.
and he works heavily with uh, what is it? The company that does Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. They did a like a jukebox music thing where he with the community and a music producer. they stream and then they write lyrics to songs, and then he produce they make the song, and then they put it on Idle Champions so you can listen to it while you play
Hmm,
that game. Yeah, it's
cool.
super fun. Yeah, I think I know too much about Jason than I
Well,
should.
he wrote the theme music for the first 2 seasons of Critical Role.
That makes sense.
That was, one of the
Totally makes
first things
sense.
I heard about him and was like, "Oh my."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
can't remember. I think it's Godhead is the name of his band. I
I
think.
honestly, I don't even know the name of his band. I should know this, but, I don't know. I get such a kick out of talking to him. I just got to hang out with him at, San Diego Comic-Con. We got
Hmm.
lunch, and he had, like, 5 other people there that were friends of his, and all of them are, of course, excellent human beings because that's just who Jason is. Um,
Yeah. He's so modest too.
he is one of the people, with us because, like, most people, at a con, you kind of especially with, like, Jason's caliber and stuff, they're in the industry.
Yeah.
Um, and there was one girl there, and she's like, hi, I met Jason on the bus ride from the hotel, and we hit it off, and so he invited me to lunch." And, like, cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
And that sounds very much like Jason.
it
Yeah.
really does.
The last time I think the last time I saw him was at Gary Con uh
Mhm.
last year. Yeah.
Gary
He's
Con,
yeah, he's a good guy.
he wasn't feeling great either.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's COVID times,
Yeah.
or it was.
All right. So I've got a lot going on my mini here. I think I'm going to put a different color on uh, the the leg greaves. I don't know what you would call them, but these parts here, because that like camel green on the black just isn't popping off.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I had to remix my
Hmm.
color, and it's probably not gonna be exactly the same, but 'cause, I'm painting out of a bowl, and, the red leaked all the way around, so it's
Oh
infected
no.
my
I like that infected,
well,
cross
it kind of looks like
contaminated.
it. Here, I'll show you what it see if we can,
Oh yep, it's cross contaminated. Oh, that looks freaky too.
right? It's like
Yeah.
a symbiote took over or
Yep.
something.
You're painting carnage.
Yep.
That looks amazing.
I got it.
Uh, there's so again, we got quite a few people watching. If you're, let us know where you're
Hi.
from, we, and what your plans are. Are you playing BattleTech right now, or Shadowrun, or any other games that Catalyst is a fan of, or are you a miniature painter? And what are you painting? We'd love to hear about all that stuff.
Yeah. And, if you have been thinking about getting into BattleTech or Shadowrun, happy to tell you how.
Right. Well, you got that new box that you're playing with,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
So the Essentials box, it's at, some Target stores in the US.
mhm,
Um, and it is an exclusive to Target for right now.
nice.
And it's basically it's a reskin of our beginner box set. So it's got different minis in it, to make it special. But, really, this is huge for an indie game company to get something into Target is extremely hard.
Yeah,
They are so choosy, and it did, astronomically well for its first release. Like something like
nice.
3 times what their normal expectations are.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Eh,
it's still doing well now that it's died down. It's still like it's not 3 times, but it's still doing very well.
okay.
Um, and we're really excited because this is, a whole new audience base because
Mhm.
usually people only see us when they go to a FLGS,
Yeah,
and so they're already gamers. But how do we reach people that aren't, that just see stompy looking robots and look really cool? And
right.
so like this is, you know moms shopping for Christmas presents. This is kids perusing the aisles while their parents are shopping and they're bored. This is a whole new generation that we can get
Okay.
into BattleTech. And one of the things that Randall Bills, who's a total sweetheart, he's the lead developer for Catalyst.
Hmm.
Um, and he's a very sweet person. And something that he said has stuck with me where it's like 40 years from now, because next year is the 40th anniversary of BattleTech.
Yep.
40 years from now, we'll be hearing from people that were like, that was my first box set.
Yep. That'll
And
be
that's
their
so
red
cool.
box. That'll
Yep.
be their, and that's a cool, that's definitely a cool legacy piece if you think about it
Yeah.
for the company, right?
And it's got quick start rules, so you can kind of dip your toe in and see if BattleTech is something that you like. One of the things that like I was not a big fan of big stompy robots, but they told me that it's like big stompy robots meets Game of Thrones, and I was like, oh, tell me
Mm.
more.
Yep.
Um, so you've got like the backstabbing, the politics. You've got a really rich world, and I was a little intimidated as a new player coming into something with 40 years of lore.
Yeah.
But if you start with the beginner box and then if you like it, you go to the Game of Armored Combat box.
Hmm.
Uh,
I think we can show all that stuff too. Yeah.
yeah. All you need to play for years and years is in that one box.
There it is.
Everything else, every other force pack, every other map, every other mini, every book of fiction is just an expansion
Hmm.
that you could choose to do or not do, and you can choose whichever ones you want. So I really like that it's digestible for someone that's just coming in to be like, okay, I feel overwhelmed. Well, here you go. Here's one box. Um, like if you're happy with just that one box, that's all you need to play forever and ever.
Nice. And I think that's one of the great things about putting together a very concise beginner box and core box like that, where if if it's all you want to do and play is just that little bit, which is still a lot,
Yeah.
it's all there for you.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
and funny thing about this game, you said 40 years, right? It's been around for coming up on 40 years.
yeah.
When I sometimes talk to people that are kind of muggles, if you will, in regards to our industry and gaming, and they my I think everybody's a gamer. Everybody plays a game, right? It may not be hobby or may not be like what we're used to, but everybody plays. Here in Michigan, you got euchre players, right? And you got
yeah.
Pinochle and all these other card games and stuff, which are very popular here in Michigan. But I'll talk to some folks and they'll be like, "Yeah, well, I remember one time back in like I went to Chicago and on the Navy Pier in Chicago, and there's this place and they had these pods and you could get in these pods and you play in these mechs, and I think it was called BattleTech. I was like, it was absolutely called BattleTech, and
Yeah.
those pods still exist,
Yeah.
but they were playing this back in like the mid '90s.
That's so
When
cool.
Yeah, and it's like they've had some exposure to it, but I think they didn't know where else they could find it, or that it
Yeah.
that it had a tabletop presence, or that it even started as a tabletop presence.
Right. Here's my little pink dude.
Nice.
He's like Pepto
Yeah, that looks
Bismol pink
great.
though, so I'm not loving that Pepto Bismol pink.
You can call them Tripler,
Think I'm gonna
and the
add some
reason I
more
say that is
purple.
the Navy Hospital in Hawaii is or not the Navy, the Tripler Army Medical Center in Hawaii, which is a huge military hospital, is on the side of a mountain in Oahu, is pink, like Pepto Bismol.
Ooh,
It is
wow.
monstrous. It is like ridiculous when you're driving down the highway in Hawaii and you just look to your right or left and there's this big pink building. It's wild.
That's funny. I I like pink. If you couldn't tell behind me, I'm painting my we just moved. So I'm
I
painting
see on
my
the over the
studio.
door.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's in front of me everywhere, and then the wall behind me is going to be teal. And
Nice.
the ceiling's going to be teal.
Well, that's going to definitely help set the mood for the room
Yeah. This
and
is
bring you joy. joy.
Yeah, this is our first place that like we've bought. It is ours. And so I cannot
Okay.
wait to do everything that I want to do to it.
Yes. Yeah. The first time I bought a house, the my my wife at the time was like, we painted the living room 6 times until she was happy.
Oh man.
Yeah. But the kitchen once, she knew she wanted to be like this yellow, sunshine yellow, so that the lights from all the windows would just can give it a bright, airy look, as HGTV would let you know.
Uh, so
So,
something that I've done in the past with moving apartments and not having a place where I could
mhm.
paint. Um, you
Yep.
can get those sheer curtains at Walmart that are in
Mm,
a variety of colors. And
nice.
when the sun hits them, it makes your room glow. So that way
Oh,
you can kind of
yeah.
test out and see like, hey, I kind of like it blue or I kind of like it green or whatever.
Okay.
But painting repeatedly
That's
sounds awful because I painted half this room and I was like my back and legs and arms were all dying.
wow. We got mostly rock is in the chat and says, "Do you listen to the Mech Bay podcast?" I do not, but now that I
I have
have,
I have not.
yeah, it's on the radar now.
Yeah,
It,
I'm bad at remembering things, but you should like email it to me or something. Rem at catalystgamelabs.com. Um,
there you
because
go.
I'd like to find more content because we're actually looking for more content to bring on our channels as well,
Hmm.
for Catalyst. But there's so much out there that it's like a little overwhelming. And again, with some kind of toxic environments, there's a lot that you can waste your time on that you might not like too. So
Sure.
I tend to only search by recommendations.
There you go. They say that it's clutch. I'm guessing that means it's amazing. Uh,
Awesome.
and then that says that denim guy is like a BattleTech encyclopedia. I
Ooh,
always like meeting folks that are like that, where it's
yeah,
like I have. So I'm like that individual that has basic knowledge of a lot of things, but except for medicine, when it comes to medicine, I have a much different knowledge of that. But when you meet people in the gaming space that are like, they can tell you about all the different factions and houses and what for like again for like BattleTech, right? You got the
yeah,
inner sphere, you've got all these different like what is it? Ghost Bear is one of
yeah,
the
yeah. Ghost Bears.
factions.
It's funny. That's the memorable one to me too. Whenever I see the logo, I'm like, Yep, that's a ghost bear."
That's the Ghost Bear. Uh, I like it because it looks like a polar bear, and that's like my favorite animal.
Oh,
So
really?
I'm like, oh yeah.
Bears
Uh,
scare the crap out of me.
well, they are scary creatures for sure.
Yes.
They look majestic and beautiful, but you don't want to get on their bad side.
Nope. And all sides are their bad side.
Correct. And now that and you live in the Great White North, so that's got to be a thing up there.
I've never seen a bear. I hope I never see a bear.
Oh,
I would. It's funny because my logic goes out the window for this. But I really want to see a moose. But everyone up here
which
is
are
like,
even
no, you.
more dangerous,
Yep, they're terrible.
and they're
But from a far way
ginormous.
away. But I want to see them.
Okay, that makes sense. I can dig that.
I have
Yeah,
seen moose crossing road signs. Those are fun.
yeah, that sounds cool. I would probably swipe one if I were up there. I'd be like, "Ooh, I'm a delinquent for the next 10 minutes because I'm going to take this sign and I'm going to
Take
post
a
it
moose
somewhere."
road sign. I did buy one of the
Yeah,
little mini road signs that had it. It was on my door
nice.
in my old place. Now it is buried in a box somewhere that I will find someday, and it will bring me joy.
I can dig all of that. So with BattleTech, and now let's talk Alpha Strike,
Okay.
because apparently that is it's a 2-player box set. right?
Uh,
And
it might be.
it's like another it's like another like intro.
It's not an
Um,
intro, it's a full game system. It's just kind of like I was saying, Shadowrun Anarchy is
mm,
the Diet Coke of Shadowrun. If you want like a more
yeah,
rules light system to play,
yeah.
that's what Alpha Strike is for BattleTech.
Okay, okay,
So if
yeah.
you're intimidated by rules, you want a different place to start, and you just want you want the lore and you want the big stompy robots, but you don't want um, like hours of looking at numbers and stuff like that.
Hmm. It seems
Not
very
that it's
quick.
hours.
It seems very quick start
It is very
because
fast.
I like I know that like all the mechs like the mechs that we're painting right now um come with Alpha Strike cards in their box.
Yep.
So it gives you all the Alpha Strike stats and everything you would need for them, right? And which I think are pretty cool. They're definitely with a dry erase, and I think you can use dry erase on these to hit all your pips and stuff on here,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is nice. Um, and the box itself comes with like pop-up building terrain and all sorts of other wonderful
Neat.
little things. Yeah.
Go Alpha Strike.
Um, yeah, go Alpha Strike. I've seen it demoed at like Alliance open house, and I think you guys had it at ACD Games Day as well.
Yes, I believe so. We Alpha Strike I haven't played yet. I've played 2
Mm,
rounds of the traditional game at this point, and
okay.
I will be learning Alpha Strike, but I can only digest so many rules at one time, so
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
prioritizing.
No,
I
that
also
totally.
I have all the boxes. I want to do like an unboxing of everything, but I just haven't had the chance yet.
Right. You absolutely should do that.
I should do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then Catalyst has another game that I know is I think this one is Randall's baby, right? That's okay. Uh uh our back end producer Mark and Will back there is like, I don't think we have a good photo. But Leviathan.
Yeah, Leviathans. Yeah. That ended on Kickstarter last Gen. Well, it launched last Gen Con. Um,
Okay.
and it's a steampunk aerial combat airship game.
Yeah.
And he and his son, Bryn Bills, Bryn is now the line developer for uh, Leviathans.
Nice.
And so they kind of designed that through the years together and pitched it
Hmm.
to Catalyst, and Catalyst was like, "Yep, this is a cool game." Um, and it's
It's
beautiful. The
it
art, the
is
minis,
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty wild.
Yeah, it is a beautiful looking game. Uh I saw it at Adepticon. They had a nice table set up, like a diorama table with like a scenario with some of the ships on it, and they had like puffs of smoke or but from cotton to make it look like
Nice,
puffs of smoke for damage and stuff. I was like, that is,
nice.
yeah, it's slick.
I
I'm a
have
fan.
not gotten to play that one yet because it's at the printers in China now. So
Okay,
it's not available for purchase yet. So
okay. I can't wait to see it out in the world and hear what everybody has to say about it and
yeah,
all the exciting, because there were a lot of people around the table at Adepticon looking at it. But you guys had a monster mercenaries Kickstarter going on at the time.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. That was wild. So funny enough. So I think our goal was $50,000. Um, we
I
funded
think it
in
was, yeah.
we funded in 45 seconds,
Hmm.
and I was on an Actoroki stream for just like they do here on Gen Con, Gen
Yep.
Con TV.
Yep.
Um, and so it was an hour stream, and I turned my phone off right before the launch, and then I turned it on right at the top of the hour, and we had already passed $1 million in 1 hour.
Nice.
Yeah, it
Were
was
you up at
wild.
GaryCon for that?
Yeah, I was up at GaryCon while everyone else was at Adepticon.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
That was insane.
Yeah, that's another fun show. thinking about the con scene
I
that
love
a
Gary
lot of
Con.
gamers go to. Yeah, it is. It is absolutely a good time, especially if you're a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons, because it's a Gary Gygax Memorial Convention
Yeah.
and run by his son Luke and family and friends and stuff. So,
It's a great one, like, if you wanna meet the celebrities in gaming,
hmm,
um, like, a couple years ago, Matt Mercer was just there walking around the vendor hall,
yeah,
um, uh,
there's
Elisa
a lot.
Teague,
Yeah,
yeah,
Lisa's great.
Luke Gygax, Joe Manganiello was there a couple years ago,
Hmm.
um, teeny
Uh, y-
little, vendor hall, but, like, honestly, like, it's small enough that you build some really meaningful relationships, there's time for that,
yep,
which
one
is
hundred
what I
percent.
love about the con.
They had a lot of celebrities there this year. I think wasn't Vince Vaughn there
Yeah, he was
and
there.
Paul White, who was the Big
Yep.
Show from the WWE.
Ed
Um,
Greenwood,
yeah, oh
Margaret
Ed,
Weiss.
Margaret is awesome. Ed
I
is
haven't met
awesome.
her yet.
Margaret was super kind, uh,
Aw.
and her life is like her dogs, right?
Aw, I'm team Margaret.
She they do the competitive ball, and I don't know what it's a sport in the dog space, and I can't remember what it's called, but that is like all of her dogs are do
That's so
this
cool.
thing. Yeah,
It's
it's
just
pretty
super
wild.
relaxing.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about painting miniatures is it doesn't have to be stressful. It takes you kind of out of the moment of if you do have a lot of stress going on in your life or whatever, you
Yep.
can kind of like, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to put some paint on a piece of plastic on a toy soldier and just do that. Listen to some music, watch a movie, or have it in the background. It's super fun. Mechanical Frog, when in doubt, put a rifleman on the table. I agree.
Done. And it'll
And
be a pink one.
they're asking Rem, do you have a favorite mech clan mech?
Ooh,
Now that you've played a couple games, have do you have a favorite one?
let's see. My very ignorant response is, the Kellhound's Archer, because I have a plushie of it, and so I know what it is. Um,
Wait,
I
Catalyst makes plushies?
Yeah, there's 8 plushies. Or no, there's, 16 plushies, 8 different, 8 different plushies, but 2 different color schemes per plushie.
Okay,
So there's like an Irby pirate, that's one of our most popular ones.
nice.
Um, yeah, it's pretty fun, and they sell out at, like, every convention because the kids want them and the
Right.
parents want them too.
I can see that. I know
My
that
f
again at Adepticon, the plushies they had a big like bin, wire bin full of plushies,
Yep,
and by like day two, they had like four plushies left.
yup.
It was nuts.
There's an Atlas, and it's big.
Mm.
It's one of the bigger ones.
Is there a
Uh,
Marauder as well?
I'm not sure what the other ones are.
Okay. Because I have a Marauder here that is not a plushie, but could you grab that? Thanks. Will's gonna go grab the Marauder I have. I got it at Gen Con last year, and I did some content on your guys' TikTok with it,
Awesome.
and it's one of my whips. Every once in a while, I'll be like, I'm gonna go and put some more effort onto this. So thank you. So there's this. It's this big Marauder. I think that they're calling it
Ooh, holy
leg.
oh, I know which one you're talking about now, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a legacy scale or
It is, they're doing, those are actually, like, handmade or something like that, so they're limited, like, people were
mhm,
asking for us to add them to the Kickstarter, and we're like, "Guys, the guy that makes these can't do that kinda quantity."
yeah.
Um, but, they should be at the con, I believe, if we still have any.
Yeah, I'm hoping so because I thought you had four different versions, and this is the one that Randall's like, you're gonna like this one." And I was like, "Yeah, I think I will." So
Rick, I remember asking you at one of the shows that I saw you at if you're a brush licker.
so the answer to that is normally yes. I did have an accident on another painting show I used to do, and I was doing the whole, brush licking to get that sharp point, to get the for detail work, and my co-host Dave Taylor said something that just made me laugh super like this crazily, and my brush lodged between my tooth, and it knocked out my canine.
Oh, no.
Right, so my whole werewolf thing was gone. Right, right on stream live. It's like,
Oh,
and then,
were you
it
bleeding?
was, oh yeah, yeah, it was amazing. But we
It was
finished the
amazing.
show. We finished the show, and what's funny was it was literally the week before Gen Con that year.
Oh,
So I think it was 2019. Yeah, it's like boop. And because I have to deal with the Veterans Administration in regards to all my medical needs, um, I'm still waiting for my dental stuff to come
no.
through. Yep, yep. But that's okay. It is what it is. I just tell people I'm a meth head. No, I'm just no, but yeah, you could actually go back and watch that episode where my tooth snaps off.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild.
I I I don't like licking brushes, but I use the little part of, my hand that creases.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I'll stick it in there and pull it through.
yeah. Oh, on your palm?
Yeah.
Oh, neat. I've seen people use where they take their hand and it right between the thumb and and they just wipe it through there
Oh,
as
yeah.
well, like
Yeah, I've
that.
seen that. I don't know, it just works for me to
Yeah, that's cool. Everybody has their own, like, style in regards to how they keep the tips of the brush pointy and everything. Um, I've seen some brush lickers when they're done, their entire lip has got like a bunch of different colors around it and stuff, and it's like, yep, you're a painter.
That's funny.
One of the things I find funny about miniature painting too is when I'm talking to folks that have never really done it, and they're like scared or apprehensive because they're like, "Oh, it's just not going to look good." And then, and I ask them, "How many miniatures have you painted?" None. You're right. It's not going to look good, but you shouldn't. That shouldn't stop you from trying because
Yeah, this is gonna be horrific, guys. It's
But I paint. My whole concept of painting is making it just tabletop ready, which means that it looks good at 3 feet away.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, because if it looks good at 3 feet away, that's all that matters. Because we don't play with our miniatures right here in our face, right? We don't. A lot of people are like, I can see every flaw, every detail here. And it's like, yep, but when you put it at that 3 foot away, it looks freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And that's where we play with our miniatures. So, and a lot of times I'll also tell them is like, your first miniature is going to be what it is, but your 10th miniature is going to be better, and your 20th is going to be better than your 10th, and you're only going to get better as you continue to paint, right? So paint all the minis.
Paint all the minis.
And Catalyst has a lot of minis that need to be painted.
We have
So,
so many minis, like,
mhm,
there are hundreds of minis between all the force packs, alone, not to mention the boxes.
right. It's ridiculous. Have they ever considered doing Shadowrun miniatures
Um,
that you're aware of?
so a few years ago, they did, a Sprawl Gangers mini game.
Hmm.
It didn't do great from what I hear, but, it was not done to the level it should have been, is also
Okay.
my understanding. Um, so, who knows? Maybe that will happen again soon.
Huh. The way your voice inflection changed in that would lead one to believe we should be paying attention.
Always good to pay attention.
Right. All
Always good.
right. So these are coming along great. Let's take a look at yours.
Oh, okay, hold on. Oof, oof, oof.
See,
I
that's
got it.
that's where it becomes stressful is when people start asking questions.
Yeah, right? I wanna finish my purple that I'm doing here. All right. Back, back, and back. Okay. That way I don't have to remember where I was. All right, so we've got wish my lighting was better, but we've got purple feets
All right.
and like a fuchsia thighs or calves, pink thighs, uh,
Nice.
purple, I don't know, crotch area.
Okay.
Uh, and then we've got some blue and purple on top, like a lavender purple and sky blue.
Nice. That looks great. But my fear is though is if we were to put these on the table, you would destroy me. So,
um, it is always preferable to have pink destroy everything. Oh, my husband's here
everything.
to feed me.
All right.
You're the best. Oh, yeah, we got ramen.
Nice. Is that a popular thing up in the Great White North?
In Montreal, there's a ton of food options, which I am grateful for because I cannot live off of like burger and fries.
Right.
Um, so
Do, do they have a lot of like maple syrup for the ramen? Is that a
not for the
thing?
ramen, but in
Oh.
weirder places than you'd think. They have like maple syrup pies. Uh,
Yes, please.
yeah, cookies, all kinds of. They'll even sometimes put it in something you don't expect, like a barbecue sauce or something.
I expect it now.
Salad dressings,
Oh, please. Yes. These
it's pretty good.
these are all my favorite things.
Yeah.
I you know Sarah from Sarah's Table?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was on an episode of Sarah's Table where they played The Excellence by Ninth Level Games.
Nice.
And which is where you basically take on the role of a think of it like an Adventure Time princess. Right? Everybody
Ooh,
plays a princess character.
love it.
And I was the maple syrup princess.
Excellent.
And I have a bag full of different varieties of maple syrup that I had as props, and it was amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I approve.
So if you're in the Montreal area,
Mhm.
that means it's a long drive or flight, or not so much flight, but a relatively long drive to get to Gen Con.
Yep, my
Yeah.
husband and I will be sharing that drive, so
Nice.
and we'll have the puppies with us. My grandparents live in the Midwest, so it's a nice stop along the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Pit stop.
That's awesome. All right. Let's see what we got. No, no new content, no new comments on in the chat. We got 57 people watching us right
Hi
now,
everyone.
rotating, and we'd like to get to talk to us. We if you have questions or uh, if you have like lore that you'd like to share about your game, if you play BattleTech or if you're Shadowrunner, let us know. Like, what's your favorite mech? What's your favorite Shadowrun class?
Yeah,
All
if
the
you talk too much
we
about
want to know.
BattleTech, I will agree excitedly, even though I don't understand what you're saying.
Mhm.
Um, but if you talk Shadowrun, I will absolutely jump on that.
Nice. But you guys over at Catalyst have another division that was recently renamed, right?
Yeah.
You used to have some board game sub companies, one called Rather Dashing, the other called Redshift,
Yep.
that made what Redshift did Kittens in a Blender and Unicorn Stew. I believe,
Yep.
are two of their games that you would recognize. And then, as far as the community watching, and then Rather Dashing has a lot. Um, Awakening Lair, and shoot, I can't remember all of them. They did one with that bug guy.
Alder, the High Sage, Wild
Alder, that's what it
Kratts,
is.
Coyote
Yep.
Peterson.
Yeah, the
Uh,
Coyote Peterson game. Yep.
yep.
That's the bug guy I was thinking about, the one who lets ants bite him and stuff.
Oh, is he the one? He's
Yeah,
crazy.
I agree. I agree. The
But
pain scale on this is a 7 on the Richter scale or whatever,
yeah,
and let's find out if that's true. Oh, nah.
nuts.
So, so you guys did a whole rebrand of the board game division. So
Yeah, we wanted because these games like we love them and when we, bought these companies, we really wanted to push them to a new level and people didn't really know Redshift. They didn't know
mhm,
Rather Dashing, but they know the name Catalyst.
yep,
So, we wanted an opportunity to kind of let them um unite
benefit.
them under one banner
Yeah, it also helps
and
benefit those divisions. I
yeah,
bet, right?
build the brand.
Yeah, because I mean, Rather Dashing has been around for a while, but you're right. In comparison to Catalyst, the name recognition alone is significantly different.
Yeah. So
So
that's why that happened. And we've got some
nice.
great games. Right now we just released Seasons of Arcadia,
Okay.
which is you play it's a really pretty game. It's like foily, so it's all shiny.
All
Um,
right.
and you play fairy lords of the seasons who are all
Okay.
fighting to control the year's weather.
That
And
sounds
so
interesting.
yeah, and so you're playing and you can only impact or interact with tokens. It's almost like chess piece or checkers pieces, but you can
Okay.
only interact with your stuff and the fairy you hate. So spring hates
Oh,
summer, summer hates fall, fall hates winter, winter hates spring. Um,
okay.
so you like if you're spring, you can't really interact with fall,
Okay.
um, but you can interact with summer. Uh, and you don't like them and you want them to fail so you can kind of eat them up, but meanwhile winter's coming for you, so
Winter is
it's an
coming.
interesting like strategy. Yeah, it's very simple but also
Mm,
and it's pretty but it's also like has thought behind it.
nice.
Yeah,
Is that a game that was pitched, or is that a game that some was made in house?
that one was made in house by Mike. He's the
Nice.
um, developer or director of the board game division,
Nice.
and he was the rather dashing guy.
Yeah, Mike Ritchie.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
And
Nice.
then we just finished the Kickstarter for Overlords in Training, which is Randall's other son, um, and Randall designed that. And it's a really fun card game. Like it's fast paced, and you each of the players gets like a different superpower that they can activate to use.
Okay.
Um, so you're trying to kind of tear each other down because you want to appease the boss, Mike. His name is Mike.
All right.
And if you don't attack each other and like win a certain amount of times, he gets angrier, which makes him more powerful to fight when he is unleashed at the end of the game.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But like while you are trying to attack each other, you're also trying to conserve enough resources to fight him when the time comes. So it's like trying to balance and make the right choices, and it also depends on the cards that you're drawing. And
Nice.
yeah, so
And
it's
what's
I
that one
really
called again?
Overlords in Training.
Overlords in Training.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Very cool. But then you have some ones that you just, if everybody watching could go onto the website and order it, to get them out of stock. Camelot,
Super
or do you,
Camelot.
Super Camelot. Yeah.
They're on sale.
It's on sale right now.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, go get that. And then I'm trying. You, Unicorn Stew is a fun card game, which I thought was brilliant and has a lot of Easter eggs in the artwork, which is cool. And then Kittens in a Blender is just, you know, it's wild.
Yeah. There's
So,
also a new Kickstarter coming in September, and it's going to
hmm.
be a dual game Kickstarter. It's going to have Parachute Panda and Fandooble. Fandooble is a dragon treasure hunting one. I haven't gotten
Okay,
to play that yet, so I don't really know much about it. But Parachute Panda is you are skydiving pandas and you're trying to land last, so all the crocodiles below you get full on your friends before you land.
nice. You don't have to be the first to land. You have to be the last to land, and
Yeah.
it's a screw your friends over game. I like that. Those are always fun. They can definitely cause some fun dialogue during and after a game.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you make me get eaten first? You're so mean.
So that I can win. Ha ha
That's
ha.
right. That's awesome. What is what is your favorite convention?
Ooh, that's asking the hard questions here.
I mean, you've been to
Um,
quite a few, so
yeah, I don't really have an answer because I like different things about each one.
okay.
Um, so like I love that the spectacle that is Gen Con.
Hmm.
And there's so much going on and there's just a ton of energy and I love that. Um, but Origins is like it's the it has the big con feel, but
Right.
still has this level of intimacy where like you still make great friendships and there's more time
Yeah.
for socializing than it feels like Gen Con you're kind of running because you feel like you're gonna miss something. Um,
Agreed. Yeah.
yeah, Origins doesn't quite feel that way, even though it's still massive. Um, Gary Con I like for the industry contacts and relationship building. Um, what else have I been to? I'm blanking.
Well, you just recently at San Diego. Where are you going to place that on your list?
Yeah, San Diego was a spectacle. Honestly, like that is a great fan convention.
Hmm.
It's expensive, so like I wouldn't be able to go if I wasn't working.
Right.
Um, but at the same time, like I only worked for one of the days, and the rest I just got to be a tourist and walk at the floor and like again the spectacle of it was really cool.
Yeah.
The thing I really like about San Diego too is with Gen Con, you know what you're getting, right? Like it's games.
Yep.
It's a board game or a role playing game or a miniatures game. There's limited types of games it could be.
Yep.
But with San Diego, it's cool because there'll be like a really long line somewhere, and you're like, I have no idea what that is, but I'm real excited. They're excited.
Hmm. And then when
And I
you find out it's for a video game demo or
yeah, or anime or like there there's all nerddoms there. Like NASA
mhm.
has a booth there. Like
Yep.
so if it's nerdy in any way, it's there. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's a fun show in regards to like seeing all sorts of fandoms, all sorts of and even things you wouldn't like you said, even things you wouldn't expect. I've seen rock bands there. I think Lacuna Coil was there this year.
Cool.
Um, I've I've seen at San Diego. I interviewed Slayer one year.
Whoa.
Right. It's like what? Because they were doing a comic book with for Dark Horse, where it was a based on like their upcoming album or whatever, and then but it was in conjunction with the writer of the comic was the guy who writes Metalocalypse on Cartoon
Ooh,
Network.
cool.
Yeah, so it was like, yeah, it was a really neat like collaboration. And then of course you've got Keanu Reeves will sometimes be at shows because he's got his book Berserk. So it's just wild the people and the things you'll see at San Diego.
Yeah. Um, well, speaking of Shadowrun,
Hmm.
not that we were speaking of Shadowrun, that was a while ago, but
But we have.
the reason that we were at San Diego Comic Con is that we did a recorded stream, not a stream because
Hmm.
we weren't live streaming. We did a
Right.
recording for a session 0 of a Shadowrun series we're going to be producing that
Okay.
is in partnership with Realmsmith, and we
Yep. With
had
Jason Acevedo.
yeah, and we had like a bunch of guest stars from that have been on Critical Role or on Miss
Hmm.
Marvel or like so it's a celebrity heavy cast. Um,
Nice.
and we were real excited about that. So that was super cool. That was life goals. I got to be on stage with them. Um, I played the Matrix because I was the one with the most Shadowrun knowledge. So
Nice.
I was able to kind of step in and be like, I have noticed that you are attempting illegal activity. May I suggest blah blah blah.
Ooh,
Um, so I
three
got to kind of
demerits.
help them. Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell us, what is the Matrix for those individuals watching that may not know what that is?
Yeah, the Matrix is the internet world of Shadowrun. So like you can um go full you can go into AR where like there's pop-ups all around you. Like think
Ready Player
Altered
One?
Carbon did a really good job
Oh,
of that when he's like walking around and gets the drug backpack
yep.
and like there's all the AR feeds around him and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That's what it looks like. Or you can go
Okay.
full VR, which you basically leave your body behind and your existence, your consciousness is in the matrix and you can kind of travel around. There's like
Ooh.
buildings are hosts you can hack
Okay.
into. So it's where your deckers play, your hackers play.
Okay. That seems scary,
It's cool. It's
but fun.
yeah, it's a pretty and then, there's programs that are designed to hunt for you doing illegal activity and stuff like that. So you're always on the
Hmm.
run. Um,
So if you were to say, um, has there ever been a show that is the best representation of what potentially Shadowrun could be? What show do you think that would be?
because of the fantasy element in it, in terms of
Hmm.
what I've seen, I would have to say Bright, even though that's a
Okay.
controversial statement to make.
Sure.
Uh,
But it had
oh, we have a
orcs, it had elves, it had everything,
yeah,
right?
it's and it had mages, like it's the fantasy element. So
Mm,
like I think
yeah.
that there's a lot of cyberpunk out there that exists and does a really good job with the cyberpunk element, but it doesn't
Hmm.
incorporate the fantasy element, and that's
Okay.
yeah, that's my favorite part.
Okay. When I used to play Shadowrun like regularly, I played a dwarven street samurai.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was a grumpy little old street samurai who has kind of gone the path of the Ronin. I was trying to find my way back into an honorable space, and uh, we never finished that campaign. So you know,
Aw.
lost to the Nether. Yeah,
We
but
have a
that's one
question
of those problems with the military. In
in
the chat,
chat. Oh, yeah.
nice. This is a question for Rem that she probably can't answer, but friendship compels to ask. Will Catalyst ever make a model for the Merlin? It's my best friend's favorite mech by a silly margin.
Um,
That's a
I
great question.
in my limited experience, I have heard that word. Uh, I have heard the Merlin, but I am not real sure in what context that I have heard it.
Mhm.
So, like the cool thing about Catalyst is like the reason Catalyst exists is that they're a bunch of BattleTech fans, right? Like they love the game as much as you guys love the game. Um, and so everything is on the list to get done. Um, there's nothing really that's off the table, is what I've learned. So while I don't know if it's like how high on the priority list it is, um, know that it is always being considered.
So I've heard rumors about the Catalyst staff and their love for BattleTech is if they could just lock themselves away and write lore, that's all they would want to ever do.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, I was like, when I heard that, I was like, that's actually kind of cool, but we need you to do a little more because everybody wants to play this game.
Well, I told them after the $7.5 million Kickstarter, I'm like, okay,
Right.
can we shut up now and talk about Shadowrun? Like, let's
There
give
we go.
Shadowrun some love, please.
Right. Next thing you're gonna know, you're gonna be the line production person for Shadowrun.
No, 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 no.
I'm not trying to jinx it or curse you with it. It's just, you know.
Um, honestly, I Jason Hardy is the line developer for Shadowrun, and
Hmm.
he does phenomenally. Like, if he ever moved on, I would be devastated. Because he's done so much for this world and he loves it so much,
Yeah.
and he is a good human being. I really appreciate him a lot. Actually, that's so, I talked about like my heart was broken after I got laid off and I didn't want to work
Hmm.
for anyone else.
Right.
Like, I've gotten pursued and I chose Catalyst when the opportunity was there because like I've worked alongside a lot of this team before. Some of them were new to me, but I really think very highly of them. They
Yes.
are good people and
Yeah.
I want to be around that. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. That's awesome. Uh, just want to say a shout out again to Dead Zone Podcast for subscribing with Prime. They subscribed for 2 months to Gen Con TV. Nice. If you aren't subscribed, viewers, hit that bell and hit that subscribe. So again, you can use your Amazon Prime uh, option if you have Prime and you haven't used it yet. You could use it to subscribe to the channel. And I know that they would appreciate that because the more people that subscribe, the more opportunity to bring amazing content is afforded to y'all.
like Shadowrun, which is on tomorrow night.
What? Tomorrow night?
Yeah.
What?
So
What?
I,
What?
I
What's it called?
it's so Roll with Rem Alternus is the time slot that we do, and
Mm-hmm.
it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And I do a interview with someone in the gaming industry. Uh, so we've
What?
had like, yeah, or even I guess just nerd industries because I've had like Kevin J. Anderson on um and like authors, writers, developers, streamers, all kinds of stuff. Um, so yeah, you should check that out. And then after that hour, we play Shadowrun, sixth edition. We've been playing
Mhm.
for over a year now,
Nice.
and we changed the cast out at a year, so it's a new season, and they're playing I think a little earlier in the timeline
Okay.
because usually Shadowrun is 60 years in the future. Um, but yeah, so and then once a month the runners take a break and we play the one shot show, which is a one shot of whatever we want. Sometimes it's a board game, sometimes it's an
Nice.
RPG. We just did Kids on Mechs, which was a
Nice.
BattleTech Alpha Strike Kids on Bikes mashup, which was a lot of fun.
Nice. That does sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that show did really well.
Nice. Very cool. The just so you guys know too, this is the last episode of season 1 of Path of the Brush.
Woo! Season
Yeah.
finale right
Yeah,
here.
that's true. So, with that, we should probably show some love to our sponsors because we do have a few sponsors we need to give some love to.
Ooh.
So we'd love to say thank you to the Army Painter and everybody over at the Army Painter for being a sponsor for this episode and multiple episodes throughout the season. Sovereignty, if you go to sovereignty.com, you can check out them. They're a tabletop simulator platform that is really fun because it when you play the games on that platform, um, they wait for you to do the actions you need to do. So the rules are, you don't have to know the rules so much as just wait for the prompt where it tells you what to do for the next round of play. And they have a pretty decent library being built. And if you use T Forge 2022, you can get a 90-day platinum level membership and check that out and play games with all your friends. As long as one person has a platinum, you have access to the entire library, so you can play with all your friends. Also to Game Envy, the makers of the hobby handle and the brushes that I'm using. Here, they are a painting accessory company, and they have all sorts of cool stuff. Wet palettes. They have the Exemplar, which is a monster wet palette. But with a lot of the speed paints, you don't really need a wet palette. So, but we'll be using some regular acrylics in season two, where that will come in handy. And who else we got? Mats by Mars. So matsbymars.com. So if you're a war gamer like BattleTech or uh, all the other miniature skirmish games and even the Dungeons and Dragons, and you need a nice play mat that takes up your entire table, Mats by Mars has a mat for everybody. Um, so you go check out matsbymars.com and you can see some really cool stuff over there as well. The playmat, the placemat that I have here that I've spilt so much paint on, and I just went through and darkened it out. But this is also by Mats by Mars. You can see right there, Mats by Mars. So there's all sorts of cool stuff you can get over there, and yeah, so go check them out. And I feel like they're missing somebody. I don't have I should get a board that has a list of all the things I need to absolutely talk about. Yeah, if you want to show off your works in progress or your completed miniature models, check out geektography.com. I'm thinking about actually starting a group on Facebook for Path of the Brush for season two, and people
Cool.
can just join the group and then share their miniatures, and we'll just farm from there because I like showing off the community's work, right? So if you're painting and from beginner to expert to master, whatever level of painter you are, we want to show off your work and encourage you and let the community see all the awesome things that people are doing out there. So yeah, season two will be coming like I think it's the 16th of August will be the first episode of season two, and I'll be hammering down all next season's guests at Gen Con. That is like
Awesome.
the big thing there. So yeah, it's gonna be wild.
How many episodes is season one?
Season one was only 8 episodes.
Oh, wow.
It was like a test run for the channel, and from everything I can tell from Peter and the other Marcus and Tanel and everybody, they seem to enjoy it, and the numbers are pretty good for
Awesome.
viewership and stuff. So yeah, and so season two is going to be many more episodes. We're gonna uh, because it goes up until December, and then we'll break for the holiday, and then there'll be a couple blackout dates because I've got New York Comic Con and stuff
Mm,
as well. Uh, that's going to be also wild because I run paint and take at New York Comic Con, and this will
wow.
be its first year. And as a first year event, I'll have a 10 by 40 or 30 by 40 booth. So a pretty decent sized area for people to
Wow.
come and paint miniatures. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then we're also going to have they're giving us a 10 by 10 like attachment booth to do some retail sale there to sell some
Ooh,
interesting exclusives like New York Comic Con exclusive items that some
that's
of our
awesome.
miniature sponsors and other companies are going to be, and that will be the only place you can get them at the show. So it's going to be really wild. Yeah. And hey, Shinky Prime also subscribed with Prime. Awesome. Thank you so much. Uh,
Thanks.
yeah. The I think my miniatures are pretty much there. I just need to base them.
I just started priming my second one.
Nice. Let's see it.
Oh, the
Yeah, I want to see which other mech you're
from up
starting to
here.
mess with.
Oh, so this is the finished one.
Ooh.
Here, let me set my
Okay. Yeah.
brush down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a mess. So
Nice. Oh yeah. That one's gonna slay all the baddies.
all the baddies.
Nice.
And this one, he's like primed, but
I think that's no, I didn't have that one. But that miniature looks sick.
yeah, this is the Centurion.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
I've got here's the ones that I've worked on this episode. So I've got this guy.
Ooh. Ooh, I like the chrome.
Thanks.
I don't have
And then
chrome. Oh wait, I do. I have metallic
I
white.
think you have, yeah, you should have some metallics in that set. Silver and I think bronze.
Uh,
So,
Battlefield brown,
hmm.
Hazard yellow. I think it's just the one.
Okay. And then I worked on these other two here.
Wow, those look
Yeah.
great. You're a,
Yeah,
you're a speed painter.
I am. That is my curse. But again, looking at them up close, you're going to be like, there's not a lot of like detail work on here, but at 3 feet away, they look pretty good. And
Awesome.
yeah, and so they're tabletop ready. I just got to put some basing on them, and that'll be it for those ones. Uh, so where can everybody find out about Catalyst? What socials are you guys really wanting to promote right now?
Facebook and Instagram,
Hmm.
and we exist on Twitter. We just don't interact there.
Hmm.
Um, and we are going to be building a Discord soon for our community. So uh,
Nice.
yeah, that is.
One that you guys manage, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so that is coming when I get time, which is never.
Hmm.
But
Right.
so and then Reddit, we're on Reddit. Well, kind of on
Hmm.
Reddit. There's the R BattleTech,
Right.
uh, and they implement our community rules. So even
Okay.
though we don't run that one, that's the one we refer people to.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
And then also TikTok. I know you guys, because I put content.
TikTok.
I put content on your TikTok channel.
Heck yeah, we
Yes.
still have so much to do, Rick.
Yeah. And there's I think broke over 2,000 followers on there now. So
Woo!
yeah, so we can actually, granted, at 1,000 we could go live, but now we can definitely go live, and we got to get you verified. So we should make that happen uh, in the next week or so.
Oh,
It's just an email we have to send out, and they're just gonna have a few questions, but
I
um,
was gonna say it's we're leaving for
for Gen Con.
Gen Con Friday. Is
Oh,
when we
okay.
start driving, so I'm gonna
Oh.
be
Then we'll do it after Gen Con.
cool,
I think the person we need to talk to will be at Gen Con anyway, so we can
cool.
put the bug in their ear while we're there.
Yeah.
Um, and so we have all the Catalyst socials that everybody should be following. And one of the great things about following different game companies' socials is if you ever have had the interest in becoming a part of the game industry,
Mhm.
following their socials is a good way to find out what they need. Like for Gen Con, a lot of companies are looking for volunteers to do game demos at their booths. And that's with a lot of different conventions. If
Yeah.
they have a presence, they're looking for demo folks to come and show the community how to play their games. And if you already are a fan of their games and play them, it's a much easier in. And if you're local to the con, that's another easy in. And if you do a good job at those different companies' booths, your potential of finding more opportunities in the industry are exponentially increased.
It's true.
So,
I was a groupie until they started paying me, so um like just hang around, be
yeah.
helpful and not a big pain in the butt, and
Right. Yeah.
people remember you and start wanting to work with you.
Absolutely. So that's one of the easiest way. And then also there's a group on Facebook that is very specific, but I'm not going to mention it because we're not here to talk about them.
Ooh.
It's a great group. It's a great group.
Yeah.
Uh, so there's that. Um, but Rem or Alternus has some socials too that people should be following because you have a
Yeah.
lot of like you have comic books that
I
you've
I do a
published.
lot.
Yeah, you do a lot.
I do
So
a
where can
lot.
people find all that information so that they're following all your cool stuff?
So we are most active in the community on Discord.
Okay.
So we have a Discord link we can drop. Um, we are on Facebook. We're on Twitter, but we don't post there a lot. We are on Instagram. We manage Kickstarters for publishers and designers and whoever.
Mhm.
We do marketing. We do the film stuff that we've done. We produce audiobooks. Um, we live stream. So not only are we here on Twitch, on Gen Con's Twitch once a week, but we stream like 5 or 6 days a week on twitch.tv/master of rem.
Nice.
And then we're also going to be, we also produce all the Shadowrun content on, oh, my phone just died. Sorry.
Oh, that's
Um,
okay.
all the Shadowrun content on the Shadowcasters Network YouTube page.
Mm,
Um, and I'm starting to produce content for BattleTech and our other stuff on Catalyst YouTube. And
mhm.
then the Rem Alternus YouTube is going to be kind of doing something new. We're going to be launching some short form content series. So, like,
Nice.
our first one is going to be with Green Ronin as a partnership for Mutants and
Okay.
Masterminds.
Nice.
And we're going to be doing just a like 6 episode mini series and then move on to a different game system and a different story.
Mhm.
And then we're going to come back to the ones that the audience wants to see. So, like,
Nice.
for instance, we did a Legend of the Five Rings stream years ago, and it's our best viewership.
Oh,
So we're going
wow.
to go back and do a season 2 of that. Um, and we're just going to listen more to what our audience wants to see. So we're going to run the games they want to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. And with all that you have going on, you're also you're doing some stuff with Roll a Crit, I heard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is
we're
another one of my clients.
yeah, we're doing their Kickstarter for Bag of Holding. We will do their community management, so we'll be responding to the messages and the questions and the
Mhm.
comments and everything.
Nice.
Um, and then we are also manage their community managers now. So
Nice.
their social posts,
Mhm.
their ticketing system for customer service requests, and we're
Okay.
going to see how that grows together as well. So
Nice. Aaron over
yeah.
there was, I believe, our 2 episodes ago. He was our
Oh,
guest.
neat.
Yeah. So
He's
yeah,
a sweet
it
guy.
absolutely. There's so much uh, in this industry that's the community is seems like a big industry, but the community is really tight and small, and
Yeah.
so you get to meet and see everybody. It's super fun. As far as socials for Gen Con TV, just so you guys know, this if you're a big fan of the Gen Con TV Twitch channel, they also have a YouTube channel, and I believe they are putting together some other stuff. But you just follow Gen Con on everything. But next week, a lot of the content that is usually aired will be um, substituted with content being streamed live from the show in Indianapolis. So I mean, there is so much content being made next week at Gen Con. It's ridiculous.
I'll be on Actoroki.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have hopes of one day being on Actoroki. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was my dream was last year, and it took me a year, but I did it.
Perfect. And you're gonna do it live on stage at
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
all
I've
right.
been on the game side of it, but I haven't been
Mhm.
on the performance side of it. I'm going to be on the performance side of it this time, so I'm pretty excited.
Very cool. That's awesome. And there's so much other stuff going on there. There's so many great content creators that are running live events and
Like us.
um, yeah, like like you guys. Not me. I'm not doing any live. I'm walking around shaking hands, kissing babies, and rolling dice and uh, trying to find out what new miniature lines are coming out, right?
M-
Because I'd
maybe
like to see what we can bring on the show.
maybe we can bring you on cuz we're going to be demoing Takedown and playing a couple board games and stuff like that. Maybe we can steal you for an hour or two.
I wouldn't be upset with that. Yeah, that'd be great. I mean,
I'll
I'm there all week.
I'll talk to the person who controls the schedule. She's kind of a pain in the butt, but
Really? Oh man. Well, I would that'd be super fun.
yeah.
And I think seeing all the Catalyst folks there. So if you are at Gen Con, everybody watching, if you're at Gen Con next week, stop by, check it out at the Catalyst booth. I believe it's going to be monstrously huge. Is that right? Because
Monstrously? Yes.
last year it was beast mode. You had like
Yeah.
the primary booth, and you had a secondary booth with all the board game content, and Leviathan had their own little area outside of the main booth, all in like a zone that took up like a football field.
Well, I'm just saying next year is the year that it's the 40th anniversary of BattleTech and the 35th anniversary of Shadowrun. So everything you thought you knew about Catalyst and Gen Con is about to change.
Okay. So yes, that's going to be wild. Uh,
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to figure out some ways to uh, uh, incorporate all the content creators in promoting what's going on. And by that I mean you and I and whoever is in our
Yeah.
weird circle.
Absolutely.
So yeah, again, if you're there, because we're getting close, our time is almost up. Uh, the almost 2 hours went by so fast.
It did.
Um,
And I
uh,
just started painting my second mini and I can't stop now.
and you
It's like,
shouldn't.
look what you did.
So if you are at Gen Con and you see me, stop and say hi, ask all the questions, tell me about your character, because I like listening about what people are playing in all the RPG worlds. And on Friday, Mark and his wife, who's the back end producer here, will be there as well. And I'm coming with a friend of mine named Jeff, who runs the Michigan GT. The Michigan GT is a tabletop wargaming event here in Lansing, Michigan. And so if you like playing, I don't know, Alpha Strike or some other BattleTech games, the, the the draft game that uses the salvager packs is going to be played there. What was that gentleman's name? Um, that
Which one?
when we were at Origins, you introduced me to him.
Uh
He has a very interesting last name. He wore the Michigan
oh,
hat.
Topa, James Topa.
Topa. Yeah,
Yep.
Topa. He will be running. He'll be there, and uh, there's going to be so many other fun things going on. If it has a miniature skirmish game published, it'll be there. So just
Yep.
expect it. So there, and we'll be walking around. You can say hi. Mark will probably have a camera in his hand, taking B-roll content, and we'll probably be asking questions of some of the publishers about what they got going on. So it's gonna be a blast. Come out and check us out at Gen Con. Otherwise, if you haven't hit that subscribe button here for Gen Con TV, please do so. Rem, thank you so much for joining us and being a part of this weird trip, this weird
Thank
path
you.
that
This was
we've
fun.
started. Yeah, and like you said, super calming. And I think that more people should pick up the brush and follow the path. It's so much fun. Until
I
next
might be
time,
doing this
I'm
more.
Rick. You should be doing it a lot more because it looks great. And again, thank you, Rem. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Will, in the background. And thank you, Gen Con TV and everybody over there for allowing us to do this. This is the last episode of season one, and we'll be back after Gen Con with season two with a lot more weirdness. So make sure you go ahead and pick up the brush. And, if you're a brush licker, keep on licking.